Hey guys, Sonia here, and welcome to my kitchen again. It is fall, it is almost Halloween. My kids wanted to have family night, and I always get excited about that. But one thing I don't want to do when my whole family is here is spend all of my time in the kitchen. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of really simple crock pot recipes that we're gonna get going a little early so that when they get here, all we have to do is have a good time. They're wanting to carve pumpkins tonight. They're wanting to dip some caramel apples. So like I said, the last thing I want to do is have to be in the kitchen the whole time when they're over there having a good time. So we're gonna make one of their favorites. It's actually one that they requested, and it's potato soup. It's a very basic, simple, no vegetables in there. They just literally want potatoes, mushroom soup, sour cream, butter. We're gonna season it with some garlic, thin it down with a little bit of either milk or chicken broth, whatever you prefer. We usually do milk. And it's as simple as that. They top it with cheddar cheese, eat it with saltine crackers, and they do not want me changing that up. I do make a lot of different potato soup recipes, but this is the go-to. I believe it's my Aunt Donna's recipe, and she always put little pepper flakes in hers. I leave that out so that those who don't like the heat won't add it. My oldest daughter is guaranteed gonna add Slap Your Mama in hers. So like I said, if you want the heat, add it in there. And then the most simple but best chili recipe in the world, and I'm just gonna show you right here. It's 1 to 1.5 pounds of whatever your favorite ground meat is. This is beef, but like I said, I'm doubling this recipe, so I'm gonna add some deer to it also. I love, love, love fire roasted tomatoes. Just a large can of tomato sauce, but you can also use tomato juice or V8. And I like beans in mine, so I'm gonna rinse and drain the pintos, but for those who don't, I'm probably gonna spoil them a little bit and make a little side pan that don't have beans in it. But other than that, you don't need anything else. That's as simple as it is. I made some little cornbread muffins for those who need to fill their tummies up a little bit more, but for those of us who just love crackers and cheese, I'm probably just gonna have that instead. But it's nice to have options. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna keep it simple so I can enjoy my time with them as well. And I'm gonna show you what their pumpkins look like when they are done. We're gonna show you the caramel apples that they're gonna dip. We're keeping those real simple too. But let's hop over to my stove and I'm gonna show you how to get this started. Okay, because I doubled this recipe, I have about 2.5 pounds of a mixture of ground beef and deer in here, and it's almost done. So I'm gonna go drain the grease off of this, and then we are going to pop everything into our crock pot, turn it on high, and let that simmer for about 2 hours before everybody gets here. Okay, I have put all of the cooked hamburger meat in here after I drained it. I didn't rinse it because I do like to leave a little bit of fat, but I do rinse and drain my pinto beans. Add those in there. We are going to put our 2 cans of fire roasted tomatoes. And our tomato sauce. And we can't forget the seasoning. Whoa, you just saw me make a pretty good mess. I probably should have put this one in the larger crock pot, but I really wanted to save my larger crock pot for my potato soup. Okay, so you're gonna have to watch me clean a mess up, but that happened. That happens. Here we go. And instead of adding another can of tomato sauce, I'm just gonna thin that out with a little bit of water. So about half of a can. Just get that mixed really well. All that meat's at the bottom. We want to make sure it is stirred in really well. But my goodness, guys, it looks kind of sloppy right now because I made such a mess. But once this gets to cooking and blending all the flavors together, it is so yummy. It's just a good, thick chili. You can thin it down by adding more sauce, more water. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the top on that, let that get to cooking really well. Just trying to make sure that meat is all off the bottom and mixed. And that's it. We'll be back to show you what that looks like once it gets piping hot and so yummy to eat. Now we're going to make our potato soup. I've already peeled and washed my potatoes. I just quarter them lengthwise when they're little like this, and I'll show you how I dice them up. It's real easy. And then when I get to the end, just to keep from getting my finger, I just finished those up just like that. I have cut all of my potatoes and I just covered the top of them with water, and I have them on a high heat. Once they start boiling, I will turn it down to more of a medium simmer bowl. It usually takes russet potatoes the size that I cut them 15 to 20 minutes to get fork tender. But once they get fork tender, I'm gonna remove it from the heat and I'll show you the rest of the steps after they're finished cooking. These are still on a low simmer, so let's do a fork test and see if they're tender. One of the big pieces, and it fell apart. And that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to take these off the heat. We're gonna mix up the other ingredients and throw it together. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and whisk up my other ingredients that's going in the potato soup. That's 2 cans of cream of mushroom. I'm gonna put a good dash of garlic salt, a little dash of regular salt, and some pepper. Not too much on the pepper because my little man's gonna be eating some of this. Okay, we are gonna put about a cup. Let's do a little more than that since we doubled this. We may end up adding more, but it's about a cup per serving, per batch of sour cream. And let's get that mixed up, and then we're going to add some milk in there to thin it out, to make it creamy and thick. You can just use your soup cans to measure. Let's just put about a can, which is about a cup of milk in there. And gently stir that up or whisk it together. Okay, and then I have my stick of butter or margarine, whatever you prefer. So there's no need to stir the butter up in this, but you see I have a little bit too much water, so I'm gonna drain about half of that, maybe a little bit more than half. And if we need to thin it back out, we'll add a little more milk or a little chicken broth if needed, but I'll be back. Okay, you can kind of see I left just a little bit of water in there. I drained a lot of that out. And now I'm going to take this soup mixture with milk and butter. gonna stir that together and see what it looks like once everything has melted. If it looks thick and creamy enough, we're gonna leave it just like it is, which it looks like it's going to be. So I'm gonna turn that heat back on to a very low heat and just let it melt that butter and heat everything up just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go put it in my crock pot on keep warm because everything's already done. I don't want the potatoes to continue cooking because they'll turn to mush or they'll turn to where you can't even see them. And we don't want that. We want to leave this kind of a chunky potato soup. So once that butter has melted and this has heated up, like I said, we're gonna put that in the crock pot. And that's it. It is a really simple, but oh so good recipe that I think you guys are going to love. Just doctor it up however you like. I want you to look how creamy that is. I'm already ready to eat. All right, let's taste test this before everybody gets here. And the good thing is, if you want to go ahead and eat yours before they get here, then you have extra time to chase the little ones around, which is what I'm going to do. I have a 2-year-old grandson and he never wants to eat. He wants to go outside. He says, Nan, outside. That's what he calls me as Nan. But anyway, so first the chili. Look at that. Pretty tasty. I'm gonna try and get that up in your face. So you've got fire roasted. You can see the little black pieces from those fire roasted tomatoes. It's just not too thick, not too thin, which is the way I like it. I do like to add a few jalapenos to mine and some cheddar cheese. So let's just do this right here. And I need some crackers. Have them right here. So there we go. That is the perfect bowl of chili in my opinion. A little bit sweet, a lot spicy when you put those jalapenos in there. But like I said, guys, if you don't like the sweetness, don't use the little packet that I used. Do the McCormick instead. And if you don't like fire roasted tomatoes, then you just simply use petite diced. But let's dig into this. I'm gonna get a jalapeno, some cheese, make sure I get a fire roasted tomato in that bite. That is so flavorful, guys. So simple, so good. This is perfect for fall family night. You've got to try it. Okay, we're gonna take a bite. That is so good, so creamy. I'm so glad that cold weather is coming because my husband doesn't think that you need soups and chilies and dumplings and all the things until it's cold, but I love them. Perfect family night meal, guys. I hope you try it and tell me how you love it.